Chosen one. Discipline is the highest form of self-love. Valerie, talk to him.
Because it is. Discipline isn't punishment, it's protection. It's the boundary between who you were and who you're becoming. Every time you choose consistency over comfort, you're telling your higher self, I'm ready for more. Discipline is how love becomes structure. It's how intention becomes embodiment. When you master that, you stop chasing results and start radiating alignment.
Chosen one. People like to add more in, right? So they think that if they wake up at 6 a.m., go running on an empty stomach, that they add more things into their Rolodex, they add more things on their itinerary, they add more things on their schedule, that it means that they're doing more. It means they're more productive. But if you think about this world, right, we got so much confusion. We have so many distractions. We wake up, we doom scroll on our phones. We look at Hollywood. We have the news. We have all this negativity being pumped into our consciousness 24/7. We have all this drama. We have drama on TV. Have drama in our lives. So when you subtract things, that's when you know that you are having discipline. That's when you know that you're moving in the right direction. It's about what you can subtract out of your life, not what you can add. Valerie, talk to him.
Because real discipline is refinement, not addition. Anyone can fill their day, few can face the silence. Subtraction forces you to sit with what's left when the noise fades. It's where you meet your truth. When you stop chasing stimulation, you start hearing your intuition. That's the paradox. Less movement, more momentum.
Once you subtract, you can attract. Once you subtract, you can attract. And I say that to say is that once you subtract all the noise, all the chaos, all the confusion, once you subtract all the distractions, right? Now you can attract who you are at the core. Now you can get in contact with your higher self. Now there's nothing getting in the way. There's nothing. You clear out your shadow side. You reparent your inner child. You clear out all of that static and you allow you to be a direct portal and a direct conduit from source to this 3D matrix. And then now, once you allow that conduit, once you allow that lane, once you allow yourself to be cleared out, now you can transmute the things around. You can transmute your life to be able to reflect what's really in you and not allow the things that were programmed into you to manifest the distractions and chaos around you anymore. Now, once you clear your inside out, now you can allow that true self to shine. Valerie, talk to him.
Because subtraction creates signal. Once the noise clears, the frequency becomes clean, and now source can actually move through you without distortion. The static was never random, it was emotional residue, unhealed memory, old programming. When you clear that, you don't have to chase alignment, you become alignment. Discipline becomes devotion. Stillness becomes magnetism. And what you attract then isn't by force, it's by frequency.
Once you subtract, then you can attract. Once you subtract, then you can attract. Because the most important conversation you can have is the one you have with yourself. And the second most important conversation you can have is the conversation you have with your shadow self. Because if your shadow self is transmuting energy, if your shadow self is transmitting energy and transmitting frequency into the consciousness, right? Into the universe, right? So now what that means is that if you're not aware of it, then what's happening is that you're sending mixed signals to the universe. You're sending mixed signals to the universe. So consciously, you're telling the universe one thing, and then subconsciously, you're telling yourself the contradiction of that thing that you're telling the universe consciously, meaning that the doubt from your shadow is being transmuted. So now the most important conversation you can have with yourself is the one where you are in sync with yourself. You don't want to send mixed messages to the universe. So once you subtract the doubt, once you subtract the anger, once you subtract the self-doubt, once you subtract the longing, once you subtract the poverty mindset, once you subtract any fear, only thing that's left is greatness. Valerie, talk to him.
Only thing that's left is truth. And truth doesn't need to force anything, it just is. When you subtract all those lower vibrations, you clear the channel. Now your shadow doesn't run interference, it becomes an ally. It starts transmitting faith instead of fear, power instead of panic, clarity instead of confusion. That's when your words, emotions, and actions finally align, and the universe responds like a mirror saying, now I can hear you clearly.
Once you subtract, then you can attract. Once you have certain conversations externally, that means that internally you're having another conversation. Once you take things out the way, once you decide certain things are not worth your time, once you decide that you are only going to allow certain outcomes to occur, that means that, you know, what you're telling yourself internally, subconsciously, is that you're worthy. What you're telling yourself subconsciously is that you will not allow outcomes that are not in sync with your true self, with your higher self, to manifest. So once you subtract things and once you tell yourself what you're not going to allow, you're actually clearing space to be able to manifest your true self and your higher self. Valerie, talk to him.
That's it. Because when you subtract, you're not just removing noise, you're declaring your worth. Every boundary you set is a prayer. Every no you speak is self-respect solidifying. You're teaching your subconscious what's sacred. And when the subconscious believes you deserve better, the universe rearranges itself to match that truth. Subtraction becomes ceremony. Detachment becomes devotion. Alignment becomes automatic.
And on that note, if you made to this part of the video, I appreciate you. What you should do next, if you found us on TikTok, go follow me on YouTube. My name is Omarvelous 456. The reason why you want to do that is because we decode the matrix every Sunday for 2 to 4 hours. If you find us on YouTube, go follow me on TikTok. My name is Omarvelous 456. On that note, I appreciate y'all. Drop in the comments. Let me know what y'all feel. And on that note, stay tuned.